All right, so the bond market is really the ones that seems to be enjoying a little bit of investor confidence. How are they faring, though? Because we're seeing this harmonized year-end period where all banks are closing their books.
Lerato, presently we are not seeing the level of vibrancy that the normal year-end characterizes. This is the reason for this is not far-fetched. You know that in Nigeria presently we are using a sort of harmonized year-end for all the deposit money banks. So presently dealers are employing a whole lot of defensive strategy. Looking at our yield curve, you may actually see that we are trying to witness a sort of inverted yield curve. The reason is because most PFAs, talking about the pension, see sort of value or returns as enough for them to put in the long-term funds within their disposal. So I think that's why we are seeing a sort of low yield on the longer end of the yield curve. We are trying to witness a sort of high yield at the short end of the yield curve. But presently, I must tell you that banks are really very good because they control almost about 60% of the activities in the bond market in Nigeria.
Okay, let's talk about the exchange rate, 161 Naira 55 Kobo. It's really on the pressured upper end of the curve that's been set by the CBN. Measures that are needed to keep this exchange rate stable?
Lerato, from my own point of view, I think CBN on their own side are trying to say that yes, that most of the policies that they employ, talking about the policy front load, are trying to build the results for them. But I will tell you that from what they are doing, if you look at the structure of Nigerian economy, increasing interest rate and the center are trying to maintain exchange rate within a band, we may actually create a sort of exchange rate overshooting, because the implication is that investors offshore there are perceiving the long run interest rate to be at a very high rate, while what we are seeing now is a very short position, which may not actually tell us what we are going to see in the near future. So, but in the recent, I want to tell you that during this year end, what we normally see a situation where we receive a lot of inflow, it may have contributed in taking a lot of pressure from both the interbank market and the WD market. But in all, I think it has gotten the situation where the executive arm of the government and the regulatory authorities need to harmonize their activities. But presently, I would say that CBN is doing something that I believe that are really okay for them.
All right, and a final question. Interest rates around 12%. Yields, though, about 14%, 16%. So for those investing in government securities, it's attractive. But is this enough to bring foreign investors back into the market?
Yes, we are here in Nigeria doing our own analysis, while foreign investors are also taking their own position, taking some other investment decision. I must tell you that if an investor is getting a yield of about 14 or 15%, and at the end of the day you will lose it via exchange rate, it may not really make an investment sense. That's why I said that presently, if you look at what we are doing, we need to look at the real sector of the economy. Remember that in one of these programs, I've mentioned it that the investment that we're having in Nigeria is really a portfolio investment. It doesn't really add to the fixed capital formation, which will actually give you the real growth you need in an economy. And research has already shown that this fixed portfolio investment has not actually improved our GDP growth. So at the long run, as all these things are linked. What we are doing now is a situation where maybe in the long run, we'll see a situation where all these investors may exit at the same time and create a lot of pressure on our exchange rate. So at the end of the day, you find out that what they may actually gain from the returns will be lost through exchange rates.
Okay, Humphrey, thanks for your time. We got the gist of what he said, even though cloud cover did interrupt the transmission a little bit there, but he's a securities dealer at Diamond Bank.